Hello guys, and welcome to the last video in the 31 Days of Halloween series. Today's video is an idea I was playing around with, in which Alice is kidnapped and used for science experiments. I initially wanted to do a half Dorothy, half Alice costume in which Alice and Dorothy were sewn together, but I didn't have enough time to sew the two costumes together, so I just went with Alice. I'm starting off by sponging on a pretty thick stripe of liquid latex down the center of my face. Once that was dry, I'm going in and making a thicker stripe, and I'm also pulling that away from where I want the cut to be. That way it blends into my skin smoothly. You're going to do this all the way down that line. And I'm also creating an opening on my chest where the stitches haven't been finished. Then you're going to add some rolled up cotton along each of those lines. This will make it look like the skin is raised in that area. Then I'm going back in with that liquid latex and smoothing down the outer edge of each of those cotton strips. A sponge will give you a smoother edge since it's wider, but I didn't want to risk sticking the sponge to the cotton. I also made the line across my nose a little bit jagged. You want to make sure to keep your neck extended when you're doing the neck parts of the special effects, that way none of the cotton and latex stick together. Then I'm going down the opposite side that I just put that latex on, and I'm smoothing the latex towards the line of cotton instead of away from it. I'm also adding in that second piece of cotton where I want the chest to be open, and following the same steps. Then you're going to take a pair of tweezers and lift up one of the sides of the inside of that cut, and then you can just use your fingers to pull up the latex from the inside of both sides of that cut. Then I'm taking a liquid liner and I'm dotting on the places where the stitches are going to sit. I'm keeping the dots closer together on my face and then gradually spreading them out further and further as the strands unravel toward my chest. Next, I'm cutting a piece of thread, sticking some eyelash glue on both ends of it, and using tweezers to lay both of the ends over each of the dots. This is a very painstaking and irritating process, but it does give the very convincing look of having actual stitches since the thread is three-dimensional. If you want, you can skip this step altogether and just draw the lines on with an eyeliner and use some gray eyeshadow under each of the stitches to shade it. I'm also putting one of the crisscross patterns over my lips. If you're going to be wearing this costume out, you can obviously do that part in eyeliner. Then once I got to my neck, I switched back to that liquid liner and finished drawing on each of those stitches. Since they're farther away from the front, they're less noticeable anyway. Then you're going to put a little bit of eyelash glue on a longer piece of thread and stick that to the very last dot on each side of that opening. That gives it the illusion that the thread has been pulled and the chest is not finished being sewed together. I'm taking a matte red eyeshadow and shading in that irritation all over the skin area, and I'm also filling in a bit of that gap on the chest. Depending on how aged you want this to look, you could also go in with some purple or blue eyeshadow and a little bit of yellow to create the bruising around the skin. Then I'm taking a gray eyeshadow and shading either side of that ridge to make it stand out even more. Then I'm taking a matte black eyeshadow and I'm shading in the entire centerpiece of that opening. I'm I'm going over this a couple times to get the opacity that I wanted. And then I'm going in with a cream paint and going over top of that. I'm also taking a bit of that black eyeshadow between my lips, under the eyes, and creating more of a discoloration around my eyes. Then I'm taking a warm tone brown and creating some splotches all over my face. If you have acne, this is the perfect chance to use those, as the placement will automatically be random. And I'm also doing that on my chest just to make it cohesive. Then I'm taking my NYX HD blush in taupe and using that to contour my face so it looks more sunken in. And then, like I said, I'm going in with that grease paint to darken up the very edges of that cut. And that is the finished Halloween look. Thank you guys so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed this series. I had a lot of fun filming it. It was definitely a lot of work to get a video up each day in October, but it felt pretty rewarding to finish it. Let me know in the comments section what you thought or which your favorite video was. I also want to hear what you're dressing up for this Halloween, or if you have any video ideas that you'd like me to film next. Thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you followed this entire series. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!